So the first major update for Janthir Wilds launched yesterday, featuring new story chapters, a new raid, a new convergence, and the shiny new legendary spear, Klobjarne Geirr. Spear is a great weapon to craft as your first legendary weapon, as it can be used by all classes in the game. The new spear comes with 6 different variants that unlock automatically when you account bind the weapon. The animations and trails and footfalls for these variants are the same, and the only difference is the model of the weapon itself. If you don't care about the new legendary weapon skin and only care about the convenience of the legendary, you can always go for the cheaper to craft Gen 1 legendary spear, Kamohoali'i Kotaki, which you can find in the legendary starter kit 5 and 6 from the Wizard's Vault. If however you are like me and wish to craft the newer, shinier weapon, this guide is for you. Before we begin, there are a few things that I will go over that you may want to get a start on as early as possible, so that you can passively work on them while you work on the other components for the legendary. First is daily crafting. You will need a total of 18 Deltrimore steel ingots and 12 spirit wood planks that you can craft 1 per day each. You can also bypass this by buying them from the trading post, but it is something to consider if you wish to minimize the cost. You will also need to complete the story step Chapter 13, Balrior Peak, to be able to see and talk to the NPC Unending Tribute in Lowland Shore map near the Mall Boneyard's point of interest. This NPC will allow you to unlock 3 achievements by buying Recollection of Bearkin's hunts, Victories and Adversaries for 25 amalgamated gemstones each. Get these achievements unlocked as soon as possible so that you can start working on them passively. You will need 250 Janthir spear kills, and at the time of recording, even the ambient white creatures seem to be working for progressing the achievement. For the second achievement, you will need to do either the new raid or the new Janthir convergence. If you don't do raids, that's fine, because the new convergence is easy enough and gives you a progress of 15 points for this achievement. This means you need to complete the new convergence 7 times in total. This will also help you get some rift essences that you will need for crafting another component of the spear. For the third achievement, you will need to do 6 meta events of your choosing on any maps such as Pinata or Octavine or world bosses or a mix of both. Finally, you will need a total of 1500 refined homestead materials if you intend on minimizing the cost of crafting this legendary. I will explain this further down the video on how you can do that. Like other legendary weapons in the game, the legendary spear is made out of 4 different components: Gift of Janthir Wilds, Gift of the Homesteader, Gift of Legendary Spear, and the exotic precursor weapon. I will link this page below so that you can click on individual items as a reference while crafting your weapon, but I will also go through this list and explain where and how to get all the items required. Gift of Gatherer of the Hunt. You will need 100 sweet treated pine planks and neutralized titan alloys. You can craft the pine planks and titan alloys at any crafting profession that you may have at level 400. Honey flowers and pine logs can be gathered in Lowland Shore, and charged titan ores and rotted ambers can be gathered in Janthir Syntri. Next, you will need 100 shards of Lowland Shore and Janthir Syntri. These are time-gated materials. You can buy 7 of them from each of the heart vendors in Lowland Shore and Janthir Syntri respectively for a total of 21 shards each per week. If you complete the heart before buying the shards, you will get a discounted price. At the discounted prices, they will cost you a total of 200 amalgamated gemstones and 100 honeycombs and 100 Mursaat currencies, which you can get by doing events in Janthir maps. If you don't want to wait and hate time gates, you can also buy the shards from the trading post. Now you combine the 4 in Mystic Forge to get Gift of Gatherer of the Hunt. Gift of Uncovered Grounds. You will need 100 Mursaat Runestones, which you can get from cordon bags that you sniff and dig out with your Warclaw mount in Lowland Shore and Janthir Syntri. You have a higher chance of getting these from major cordon caches, which can be found spread across in Janthir maps. There are also usually a couple of mythical cordon caches in each of these 2 maps that you can dig out that have a guaranteed runestone in them. For the mythical and major cordon caches, you will also require a cordon cache key to open them, which you can buy from the unusual coin collector at the Moon Camp Covert for Lowland Honeycombs and Karma. You can also buy these directly on the trading post. Gift of Lowland Shore and Janthir Syntri can be obtained by doing map completion of the said maps, so all the hearts, points of interest, and vistas. You can also skip map comp and buy them from the heart vendor for a bunch of currencies, but I would recommend against this because the time required to collect all these currencies is much more than a simple map completion. Gift of Ursus can be bought from Unending Tribute NPC in Lowland Shore. Now you combine these 4 items in the Mystic Forge to get the Gift of Uncovered Grounds. Gift of Expertise. You need 12 amalgamated rift essences which can be crafted by any crafting profession at level 400 by combining fine masterwork and rare rift essences and globs of ectoplasms. The best way to get rift essences is by doing convergences. This will also help you make progress on the Convergence Victory and Spear Kills achievements. Eldritch Scroll can be bought from Miani, the Mystic Forge attendant, for 50 spirit shards. There are too many ways to obtain obsidian shards in the game, and you can easily get them for karma and other currencies depending on what you have an excess of. Cube of Stabilized Dark Essence can be crafted by any crafting profession at level 500, and you will need Stabilizing Matrices, which you can farm by playing fractals or buy on the trading post, and Ball of Dark Energy, which you can get by salvaging Ascended Armor and weapon pieces. So you combine the 4 items to get Gift of Expertise. Now you buy Bloodstone Shard from Miani, the Mystic Forge attendant, and combine the Bloodstone Shard with Gift of Expertise, Gift of Uncovered Grounds, and Gift of Gatherer of the Hunt in the Mystic Forge to get Gift of Janthir Wilds. That's 1 out of 4 components for the Legendary Spear done. Gift of Embracing Refuge. You will need 250 refined homestead metal, fiber and wood, and 250 Shards of Homestead. Shards of Homestead can be purchased from Deftlhar in your homestead after completing the Mastery, Adept Handiworker Crafting, for some karma and some refined homestead materials. They can also be purchased directly from the trading post. So you will need a total of 1500 of the refined homestead metal, fiber and wood each if you don't buy any Shards of Homestead from the trading post. These refined materials can be bought in your homestead from the Homestead Refinement Farm, Metal Forge and Lumber Mill, but you can only buy a limited amount per week. If you want to understand the mechanics of how this works and how to figure out the lowest cost for these materials, check out my homestead decoration guide video where I do a deep dive into how all of this works. Once you have all the materials, you combine them in the Mystic Forge to get the Gift of Embracing Refuge. Gift of Condensed Might and Magic. The recipes for individual gifts can be bought from Miani, the Mystic Forge attendant, for 10 gold each. You will also need either Artificer, Huntsman or Weaponsmith crafting profession at level 400 to craft these, or you can pay extra 10 globs of ectoplasms to have them crafted for you by Lear in the Wizard's Tower. You combine the Gift of Fangs, Scales, Claws and Bones in the Mystic Forge to get a Condensed Might, and Gift of Blood, Venom, Totems and Dust to get Condensed Magic. You need a total of 38 Mystic Lowers, which you can get by completing PvP and World vs. World reward tracks. Or, if you want, you can also skip all this and straight up craft Mystic Lowers in the Mystic Forge by combining Mystic Coins, Obsidian Shards, Globs of Ectoplasm and Mystic Crystals for a success rate of about 33%. Now you combine the Mystic Lowers and Gifts of Condensed Might and Magic and Gift of Embracing Refuge in the Mystic Forge to get the Gift of the Homesteader. That's 2 out of 4 components for the Legendary Spear done. Gift of Legendary Spear. You can buy 100 Mystic Runestones from the Mystic Forge attendant for 100 gold. Gift of the Mists. Gift of Battle is obtained by completing the Gift of Battle reward track in World vs. World. Gift of Glory and Gift of War can be bought from Miani for 250 Shards of Glory and 250 Memories of Battle, which are PvP and World vs. World currencies and also available on the trading post. Cube of Dark Energy is the same as before. Now combine all these items to get Gift of the Mists. Gift of Research. Thermocatalytic and hydrocatalytic reagents can be bought from Master Craftsmen next to crafting stations. You need a total of 2500 research notes to buy 500 hydrocatalytic reagents. Exotic Essence of Luck can be crafted even by a level 0 artificer. You just need lower tiers of luck from salvaging Masterwork gear or salvaging Ecto. Combine these in the forge to get Gift of Research. Gift of Recollector Memories. Tales of Adventure can be bought on the trading post or by playing EOD, Soto and Janthir story chapters. Gift of Bones is same as explained earlier. Memory of Bearkin's Hunts is the reward for completing the achievement Janthir Spear Kills that we unlocked from the Unending Tribute NPC, and the Memory of Bearkin's Victories is the reward for completing the other achievement for completing the new raids or convergences. Combine the 4 items to get Gift of Recollector Memories. Now combine the Gift of Recollector Memories with Gift of Research, Gift of the Mists, and 100 Mystic Runestones in the Mystic Forge to get Gift of the Legendary Weapon. That's 3 out of 4 components done for crafting the Legendary Spear. Now for the Precursor. Gift of Sharpened Tip. Memory of Bearkin's Adversaries is the reward for completing the achievement, World Boss or Meta Event completions that we unlocked from Unending Tribute NPC. Now we need 6 of each Deltamore Steel Spearheads, large Spirit Wood Hafts, and 6 Vision Crystals that you can craft with Weaponsmith Crafting Profession at level 500. Gift of Metal can also be crafted by Weaponsmith at level 400, and the recipe can be obtained for 10 gold from Miani. Standing Stone's Timepiece and Bearkin War Helm can be obtained by completing 2 meta achievements, the Lowland Shore Mastery and Janthir Syntri Mastery. They are a collection of other small achievements that are easy enough to complete. Now combine the Gift of Sharpened Tip, Gift of Metal, the Timepiece and the War Helm in the Mystic Forge to get the exotic Precursor weapon. The Precursor weapon itself is very standard and not very exciting, but we finally have all the 4 major components for the Legendary Spear. We can now combine the Precursor weapon, the Gift of Legendary Spear, the Gift of the Homesteader, and the Gift of Janthir Wilds in the Mystic Forge to get the new shiny Legendary Spear. Now decide whether you want to keep it or sell it on the trading post for a good amount of gold. I chose to keep it. This whole process may seem overwhelming, but remember, legendary crafting is supposed to be a long-term project that you can chip away at slowly over time. Hopefully this quick overview helps guide your gameplay a bit so that you have a general idea of what to do if you're working towards the new Legendary Spear.